Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cypher from cypherbk.com, and today I'm going to be talking over the version 1.05 patch notes for Honor. It just released this morning, and there's going to be a lot of balance changes in this patch, and I've been waiting for this patch for quite some time. Expecting to see a lot of good stuff, but also hearing a lot of questionable out-of-patch features that might have changed gameplay, and we'll go over that. Obviously, we're not going to get everything right on our first try because some of these are just text and we got to go in the actual game and test some things out to see how they play out. But let's get right into it. Superior block feedback, Warden's top light opener, superior block visual effect applied on sword. So I actually went through most of the patch notes. This is just better visual representation for superior block, and it should be easier to see. Valkyrie moveset. Removed guard break cancel from shield tackle. So this was just in the description. She couldn't actually do it, and it was changed a while back, but now it's actually removed from the description, so not to confuse people. I'm going to be skipping over some stuff, and I'll have the link to the patch notes in the description of this video, but I'm going to be going over just the main balance changes that I want to discuss so that this video isn't too long, and it's easier for you guys to digest it. Counter guard break is no longer affected by the debuff gear stat. Basically, you could build into debuff resistance, and you would be able to counter break in situations that you usually weren't able to, like off of parries and while you're recovering. So this has changed now so that it doesn't interrupt with the main flow of the game, where if you get parried, you can get grabbed and whatnot. So they did nerf debuff resistance, and this is a good thing because I think debuff resistance was overperforming. It already reduced like bleed damage, and then it made you be able to counter guard break when you couldn't. So good stuff here. Definitely we want to see more diversity in the gear stat options, and this is something that will help make that a reality. Assassins not falling unbalanced when thrown out of stamina is resolved. That's great to hear. This was really bugging me, especially as a Shigoki, because my main playstyle is running people out of stamina and then throwing them on the ground. This fixes a lot of problems for everybody. Revenge activation no longer interruptible by emotes. I don't know what that means, but that's good. Alright, these are emote changes. Nobushi, hidden stance input improved. There was an issue with the Nobushi hidden stance input causing the downward angle detection on the right stick not to work consistently with the other full block stances. It's resolved now. The hidden stance input works the same as full block stances. Okay. It's good to hear that they're making it more accessible and easier to input. Although hidden stance, in my opinion, after playing Nobushi for not too much, I played a few hours of Nobushi, I think hidden stance needs to be slightly buffed because it is a very heavy stamina costing ability, and you do get things out of it sometimes, but the risk reward is just not quite there. Most of the times you're better off just parrying attacks instead of dodging them with hidden stance, and from hidden stance you're very readable, so I think hidden stance could use some buffs, and we'll see if they did anything later in the patch notes with hidden stance, but that's just my opinion on it. Warlord, blocking external attacks while in full guard now costs stamina. That's good. Heavy finisher hit area update. So this is basically fixing the phantom hit bug that Berserker had, where his attack looked like it was coming in too fast and it just wasn't synced up with the animation of the indicators. So that's a good bug fix right here. Regenerate. This is like a fourth tier feat that you got. Health regeneration only works from idle. I assume it used to work while you were walking around and unlocked. And I read this already. Basically, they don't want people to unlock during a fight and just run around unlocked to heal even while they're fighting. And now it's going to heal a little bit more, but you have to be standing still for it to work. Now, I never was a fan of this passive anyways. And this change honestly looks more like a nerf to it. Now, I do agree with the reason why they changed it, but standing still in a game of Dominion or Elimination is very rarely a viable option, and usually you're going to be moving the entire time. So I don't know if Regenerate will find too much use, in my opinion, but it's good that they fixed this because this playstyle with Regenerate is not healthy for the game. Shield Basher functionality will no longer be partially deactivated on death. Okay, so that's just a bug fix. Elimination. This is some good stuff right here. Boosts are no longer available for pickup at round start. They now appear 20 seconds after each round starts. My honest opinion, 20 seconds, this is a good change, but the best way to go about this, and this is an idea that I brought up on my stream before, is when you kill an opponent, they will drop a random boost, and you can pick that boost up. That is, I think, the most competitive way to go about things, where it's not a, just who can farm the most boosts. And also, you shouldn't be able to pick up multiple boosts at the same time, in my opinion, because the game, even 20 seconds is a very short period of time. People will run and they'll know where the boosts are going to spawn, and they will decide to fight or be near that area just to get the boost. It's a big part of the game. People will do whatever it takes to win. I think killing people to receive a boost on their death would be a nice way to balance it, or just and also maybe make it to where you can't pick up multiple boosts. So you have to choose which one you want. You want the offensive one, you want the defensive one, you want the speed, the heal. It's up to you to choose. But right now, it's just like, if you see a boost, there's no reason not to take it. The time to pick up a boost has been increased from 1 second to 2 seconds. That's great, because there's been many times where you've been chasing down opponents, especially like Orochis, and they'll run to a speed boost, and before you can even get to them, they've consumed the boost and they're off to the races. And 1 second was just way too short. 2 seconds, a little bit better. Again, I think they can improve upon the whole boost system in general for elimination, because it really, the whole game starts revolving around the boosts, and you want the game to be more revolved around the actual teamwork and player mechanics as to external boosts that overperform, in my opinion. Skirmish, they made a lot of changes just to make the skirmish game mode more accessible and just playable. Shorter matches. And a couple other things. I'm not really too interested in skirmish, so I'm gonna skip this over. You guys can go ahead and go back and read this. Gear stats. Attack and defense stats no longer apply when in revenge mode. Only the revenge attack and revenge defense stats apply when in revenge. So now you're not double dipping. You'll no longer be like super tanky or super offensive while in revenge mode. It'll only apply based off of the revenge stats. So you're no longer double dipping. That's a good change. It's a really big change. I think people are overlooking this. Debuff resistance will no longer reduce the garbage counter window of opportunity. Okay, they went over that earlier. Revenge gained by defense is now applied only when you block or parry a hit. Now this is interesting, because revenge gained by defense is now applied only when you block or parry a hit. I assume this is talking about dodging attacks. Maybe now you won't gain defense if you dodge an attack. You won't gain revenge if you dodge an attack. Or maybe there was different ways to gain revenge by defense outside of blocking or parrying. Maybe it was double dipping with injury. I'm not too sure, but less ways to gain revenge is always good. Revenge gained by injury is now only applied when you get revenge from taking damage. So this also confuses me, because I thought revenge gained by injury was only applied when you took damage, but now it only applies when taking damage. So what else was giving people revenge gained by injury? I don't know. That is very, very weird to me, but this looks like a bug fix that we're not really sure about. Revenge mode defense. They decreased the effectiveness of revenge mode by defense. Revenge gained by defense decreased effectiveness. Revenge mode attack as well. Revenge mode duration. Sprint speed was also decreased. Interesting change here, but I guess they don't want people running around too much and stalling, or running for boosts and whatnot. But this is decent changes. I really like this. Orders. They removed the whole PvI, player versus AI, and PvP. You can do it on PvP or player versus AI. No distinction. That's great, because honestly, I don't want to go against bots to complete my orders, and it's very frustrating to have to do that. You no longer have to do that. Team icons disappear from chat window. Okay. Player will no longer be paired on the same team when playing 1v1 duel after reinviting a player who has quit. Okay. So PC specific stuff and UI stuff, we're gonna skip over this. Skip all over this stuff. These are mainly bug fixes. Peacekeeper. Zone attack first strike is now set up as a light attack to trigger and interrupt reaction on block. Canceling a blocked zone attack while in revenge will now force an exit of 600 milliseconds, preventing you from attacking again. Bug fix zone attack UI indicator will now correctly start at the beginning of the animation instead of 100 milliseconds later. Now, I assume this last one is trying to fix the indicator bug, but I'm hearing that the indicator bug still exists. And the indicator bug is a very delicate issue because you would have to change how the inputs of the zone work for the indicator bug to be removed completely. You would have to change basically a core mechanic of the game. So that's I don't know what's going on here. Now, from what I've done in the testing today, it seems like the zone attack is still unpunishable, but the Peacekeeper has a little bit of a delay before they can, follow up and attack after their zone. And it's definitely evident if they cancel it. So there's a little bit of a delay on their zone follow-up, which is nice, but I still think it doesn't really address the issue that the zone attack is very, very safe, hard to react to, and very hard to punish as well, even when you know it's coming. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but from what I've seen in game, it just looks like they can't spam it as much because as soon as you block it or they cancel it, they have a little bit of a recovery time. But I don't think you can really punish that recovery time. It just prevents them from attacking you directly again. They also nerfed the damage from sidestep, right? Sidestep strike damage decreased to 15. Riposting stab damage increased to 30. So wait, this kind of evens out, right? This kind of evens out. I don't know what they were doing here. Blocking sidestep strike provides initiative only in a few matchups. So we're increasing the regular block recovery on this attack in order to increase these matchups. Sidestep strike damage is currently too good compared to riposting stab. Oh, riposting stab, I think this is the deflect, right? Making deflect feel too much of a risk compared to basic dodge. By reducing the damage on sidestep and increasing the damage on the deflect, okay, that makes sense. We hope to restore a more balanced risk-reward between dodge and deflect. One last thing about the Peacekeeper. We're aware of these issues expressed by the community over her light spam. Even though we're not addressing it in this update, we're currently looking into it, so expect changes in the near future. Okay, it's good to hear. So they're making deflect more viable, more damage, and their sidestep isn't going to do as much damage. That makes sense. Warlord headbutts. Stamina cost increased to 15 from 12. Dodge window increased by 200 milliseconds. Miss recovery reduced to 700, but then the miss recovery branching into attack delayed by 200. So they made the stamina cost more, the dodge window was increased, and the recovery time was increased. So headbutt is going to be more punishable if you actually dodge it. Now, with a character like Peacekeeper or Raider, who has a dodge guard break, it was very easy to, once you dodge the headbutt, to punish it. You could punish the headbutt very quickly with those fast characters. With Shigoki, on the other hand, you could dodge the headbutt, but you're still too slow to really follow up and do anything. This will allow the slower characters to successfully dodge Warlord headbutts and follow it up with a punish, which is awesome. Full block stance, stamina cost could be doubled in some cases. We fixed it. Can no longer be chained into headbutt unless attack has been blocked. Good to hear. Kensei. So Kensei got some really big buffs. And I read over this and I was really surprised because they didn't really say too much about Kensei. I guess they wanted to surprise us. Helm Splitter, that's the forward dash light attack, changed directly into the chain finisher. The chain finisher is the top unblockable that Kensei has. So you can get directly into the chain finisher just from the Helm Splitter. You can also get directly into it from Swift Strike, which is the side light attack. Now, that was the dodge light attack. The dodge light attack was punishable on block, but they also made it to where you can't get guard broken if they block it. But if you land it, you can directly chain into the finisher, which is awesome. That allows Kensei to get into his mix-up very, very, very early in a fight, and it doesn't require him to throw like 3 random heavies just to get into it, or a guard break. This is going to be great. Awesome for Kensei. Honestly, it's going to, in my opinion, he was one of the lower tier characters down there with Berserker. This is going to push him towards the middle, in my opinion, because this is great. This is going to allow him to get into his mix-up very, very frequently. So, great news for Kensei. Great news. And this is basically described what I just said. They also sped up his side lights, so his top light isn't going to be his only way to engage. Now his side light attacks are a little bit faster, giving him a little more options. This Kensei buff is crazy. I mean, I got my Kensei up to almost Prestige 2, Rep 2. So it's making me want to pick him back up because I was taking a break from him and playing Berserker. Speaking of Berserker, Super Armor is now applied on the second hit. You don't get reduced stamina cost while you're in the the Super Armor mode, but after the second hit, you now have Super Armor, but you don't get the stamina cost reduction. So after your first hit, second one, you have the uninterruptible stance, which is awesome. It will allow you to trade hits with other characters like Shigoki and whatnot. And it's good. It's a good change. Deflect transition to guard break after 500 milliseconds, reduced from 700. This is going to help when you're deflecting against Valkyries and Peacekeepers because their light chains sometimes could interrupt your deflect attempt and it'll cause a bug. Now, I do want to say something for the Berserker people out there who are excited. Now, this buff is a very small buff. It is a buff, and it's great. We're moving in the right direction. But Berserker was nerfed, chat, viewers, YouTube. Berserker was actually nerfed this patch. And it's not in the patch notes. But if you guys know, Berserker had a add a stamina punish where they're able to punch their opponent forward, knock them down, and then do a side heavy and a top heavy for a total of like 95, 96 damage. This is no longer possible. We don't know why. It's kind of hard to get it. Like, nothing in the patch notes really indicates why it's no longer possible. Something changed. Don't know why. I tested it this morning. You can't do the max punish anymore. You can do it off an exhausted parry or a revenge parry. So if you parry somebody and they're falling down because of your parry, you can do the side heavy to top heavy. So it's still possible to do it that way. But you can't just grab them while they're out of stamina and knock them down. So Berserker was nerfed. Plain and simply, at the end of the day, Berserker was nerfed. And no one knows why. I'm sorry, Berserker. I mean, I was trying to get my Berserker to Rep 3. This is really turning me off right now. So yes, Berserker was in fact nerfed. Don't know if it was intentional. Don't know if it was a mistake. I don't think anybody was complaining about Berserker. Conquer. Oh my god. Conquer got destroyed this patch. Hit and bump recoveries can no longer chain directly into full block stance. This basically means that, Conquer used to be able to get hit by the headbutt and then full guard the light attack following the headbutt, or get hit by the Warden charge and then full block the light attack following. This will no longer be the case. Shield bash. Conquer could not counter guard break from shield bash hits and miss recoveries. Shield bash or prostate startup no longer has the ability to block. Bug fix. Conquer cannot counter guard break from shield bash, prostate hit, and miss recoveries. So now, basically, they made his shield bash very, very punishable. Very, very punishable. He no longer has the block on top while he's shield bashing as well on the riposte. That's like the follow-up one. And he no longer can counter guard break during the recovery frames. So Conquer is going to be very, very punishable. His shield bash is not going to be safe. Not going to be safe at all. Extremely hard to punish, even if you dodge, because they have defense on startups, hit, and miss recoveries. Removing the ability to defend on these moves should make Conquer more punishable. We've also fixed the bug on shield bash, prostate, and mix-ups that allowed Conquer to counter guard break from these moves' recoveries, which was an exception from our generic rule that guard break cannot be countered from recovery. They did give him a small buff to his heavy attack, but they nerfed the unlock tech. If you didn't know, Conquer's heavy attack used to do 23 damage. 1 bar of health is 25, so if somebody's on their last bar of health, it was very hard to finish them off. Now, there was a unlock tech where if you unlocked before you attack, your heavy attack will do 30 damage as opposed to 23. So it was a big damage boost, and it was unintentional. It was basically a bug, but now they stabilize it to where unlock and locked will do 25. So now if you're on that last bar of health, Conquer can finish you with just a heavy attack. And that's basically what they're saying here. And they fixed, the light attack out of guard mode, which is not really relevant. The long arm. Lawbringer got major buffs. Major buffs. The long arm now guarantees a side heavy. So risk reward. It's a very risky move because it's very easy to punish. But now if you do land it, you get a side heavy, which is good damage. Parry now guarantees both the zone attack, make way, and the impaling riposte, which is the, you know, where you stab them and you can push them towards a wall with your big pull, which is awesome. This is guaranteed off any parry, light or heavy. Before, I think it was only guaranteed on light parries. Light riposte applies stun on hit, so it gives it a little bit more use. And hit and regular block recovering branches into chain increase to 200 milliseconds. Okay. Make way has super armor now, so the zone attack has super armor. Make way damage increases to 25, so it does execution damage, basically the last bar of health. Developer comments. Okay, you guys can read that later. Light attack startup decreased to 500 milliseconds from 700. This is from the Swift Justice. Heavy attack, light attack, heavy attack. Top light attack damage increased to 15 from 10. Side light attack damage increased to 15 from 8. This is the light, heavy, light combo, and basically they buffed every single combo that he has. They gave him faster combos and more damage. You guys can go over this when you get the chance. Nobushi, light finishers, top light finisher recovery on interrupt, block reduced. Side light finisher recovery on interrupt, block reduced. To prevent free guard break on block, changes applied on light attack finishers out of guard mode. Okay. Shigoki, they reduced his recovery from 900 to 800 on his light attacks. I wonder if Conquer can still guard break a Shigoki if they block their light attack. I don't know. Maybe this won't be the case. Valkyrie light finishers. They also basically the same thing with Valkyrie to where her some of her attacks are not going to be punished by guard break just on block. So really good changes so far, guys. I love what I see. It's great, 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 great patch. The only disappointing thing I could tell you is maybe the Peacekeeper wasn't nerfed hard enough. Maybe Conquer was over nerfed. And Berserker, why did they remove his full damage combo, his max out of stamina combo? That's I'm sure that's an oversight or something. They had to have made a mistake, because if that stays the way it is, Berserker is actually in a worse position than what he was before. Because that out of stam punish is extremely powerful, and it gave Berserker kind of, you know, somewhat of a, you know, threat when you're out of stamina, and if the Berserker grabs you, he could do a lot of damage to you. Now it's not so much. Like, it literally gets cut in half at this point. Peacekeeper, not really too much changed with her. She's gonna be a little bit less annoying, but she's still gonna be the same thing, and hopefully they fix the indicator bug. But that's about it. Thank you guys. This is just my initial impressions. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of testing done this week with the new patch and whatnot. Maybe some clarifications on some stuff for you guys. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more For Honor content. My name is Cypher from CypherPika.com, and I will see you guys next time.